I like everything that M.A.D. is.
Corporal Craig Jones wears the badge proudly.
21 years.
The officer with Henrico keeps our byways and highways less dangerous.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The 43-year-old officer's specialty, removing impaired drivers from the road.
Lately, we've noticed that the alcohol is kind of going down and the drug use impairment is going up.
The corporal is Henrico's senior member of a 5-person crash team and lead DUI instructor. He's lost track of how many fatal crashes he's investigated.
Not everything prepares me for what I see when I step out of the car.
Officer Jones says drunk and drug drivers are a scourge on society.
Statistics say that you drive impaired 80 times before you ever get caught the first time.
Last year, 272 people died in Virginia in alcohol-related crashes. Across the country, one person dies every 52 minutes because of an impaired driver.
The longer I've done this job, the scarier it gets to go back and see just how many people are out there driving impaired.
Oftentimes, it is Corporal Jones who notifies the victim's loved ones.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
What would we do without people like him?
Carter Hill Sr. is a volunteer with Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
He's extraordinary, I can tell you that right now. We've met before.
Carter's life changed forever on March 21st, 1997. His son, Carter Hill Jr., was killed by a drunk driver in Hanover County. He was 20.
It was probably one of the worst days of my life. If I lost everything I own, it wouldn't be as bad as losing my son.
Carter says Officer Jones is preventing other families from experiencing what he shoulders every day.
There's people out there that really care and really want to make a difference. And they're out there, and he's one of them. Thank God for him.
The married father was recently honored by M.A.D. at their annual Law Enforcement Awards ceremony.
Officer Craig Jones.
A few years ago, Corporal Jones racked up the most arrests of drunk drivers in our region.
It's just that kind of commitment, that Craig is a part of, that just means the world to us. And it means the world to our victims, too.
M.A.D.'s Christy Cousin says the officer's tireless work year in and year out is saving lives.
He's not out there caring about whether you have a taillight out. He's out there trying to get impaired drivers off the roads for our safety. I think that we as a community are very lucky to have officers like him.
Corporal Craig Jones says if you're drinking or using drugs, think before you get behind the wheel. If not, you may pay the consequences in court or with your life or someone else's.
The motivation to go out and try to prevent these crashes from happening, to educate the public, to educate anybody that I can educate based on the information and knowledge that I have, is what drives me every day to go to work.
Corporal Jones regularly raises money for M.A.D. at their annual walks and through Brunswick stew sales. And recently, on his birthday, he asked loved ones not to give him gifts, but to donate to the nonprofit. For Heroes Among Us, I'm Greg McQuade, CBS 6 News.